In 2024, they added quite a few locomotives up there. We've added more freight cars. We've pushed cars out of the drawers from adding new ones. We've added tank cars. We've added covered hoppers. We've added a lot more box cars. We've added a fascia on one side of one module. We've dirtied up the cinders with dust and stuff unintentionally. We've added a steam locomotive. We've added a 1950s diesel. We've added more tank cars. We've added locomotives for the big layout. We've added ballast. The layout has not progressed as I was hoping, but it is progressing. The biggest addition is the final module. The spurs to what was a chain track is now just a coal trestle. Modern Colton has its own spur, and Embry Lantern and New York Concrete Pipe have their spur. Unfortunately, the layout is not operational going into 2025, as I do not have enough rail joiners to make it so. The Wilson boxcar is in fact on a spur that does not have rail joiners on it. The rail joiners connect this spur in to the main. They connect this little track between the two switches, but we do not have rail joiners. The rail joiners connecting to that track. So we can, in fact, access this track with a locomotive that I just ballasted. I just poured out a bunch of cinder ballast, and I just ballasted that. You can see that it's all wet still. And of course I use 91% isopropyl alcohol, spray it completely down with isopropyl alcohol, and then 50-50 water and glue mixture, which that's got a little bit of a glue in there. I shook it up, but apparently did not shake up enough. Got ballast here, and this is the first piece I ballasted here. I had planned to not secure this track down until I did the bridge, but what I'm going to do is the same thing Steve Brown is doing for his layout, is I'm actually going to cut out the creek bed below the track and leave the track suspended over. It shouldn't be long enough that it should be a problem, and I'm going to build the bridge, I have to scratch build it from underneath, build it in place, piece by piece, with the track in place, which will be a challenge. But so we have this track, which this can hold 2 hoppers on where the coal trestle will be. This will go over, and then it will come up this way where there will be a driveway here, and there's going to be a barn right here. And then the creek will be here, and they'll have coal bins over here. It's unfortunately not big enough, not enough space. Actually, I've got to alter something a little bit. I had to move that over a little bit. coal trestle will be out this way with a creek right here. But this is what the layout looks like going into 2025. And then I have to, in 2025, I have to get rail joiners because I got to put that track on. And I got to connect that switch in, which I was talking to Paul Stamp recently, and he commented on this track being so sharp because it was over here, but it goes over that way actually, and this car rolls through with no problem. I don't foresee any problems with that. I don't think this locomotive would go through it, but that 060 would go through it no problem. But should be able to get that in 2025, probably hopefully in January of 2025. And then we just have to cut down a piece to go out that end out there. And then we'll have the layout done, at least track wise. And then I'll have to, we got underneath, it's held together by a single 2-inch clamp between each of the 4 modules. So we have a 2-inch clamp between that one of those two, between those two, and between those two. So 3 2-inch clamps holding it together right now. We have Marne Colton. You gotta have a road coming down here by the front of Marne Colton. It won't look realistic because it'll be going here and then it'll come out. When it's actually straight, it's a straight street, and then it'll go around the barn, and then the coal bins will be down here. But that's it going into 2025. I'm not going to ballast anymore over here beyond there because I've got to have that track loose so I can get the rail joiners on it and get that switch on it, and I don't want to rip it out of ballast to do that. But it is to the point where if I could get those rails lined up, I with the locomotive now, I can't with the locomotive, but you can roll a car out and back. You can't do it with a locomotive because a locomotive and tender would take up that track. But we can switch the coal thing. We can put cars on here for that, and this track is actually longer because this switch was here and it's now down here. So we got quite a bit of length, and these can actually be rolled all the way out to here and still go around cars in the main. So you can have cars right up to the edge of the module, and they will go around other cars. So you can put that right up there, and that will go around it. So, that's the layout. 2024 is a different year, and definitely the most different from my life before now. I mean, if you had told me 5 years ago that I would be going to complete strangers' houses and running model railroads, I would have said, "You're nuts. There's no way I could do that. There's no way I can do that. I'm too scared of people." But with being forced to live on my own, it's forced me into being a different person than I was before, mainly. I'm still the type of person to be wearing to wear a purity ring, which I'm not wearing it now because I'm in the house. I wear it out. I don't wear it in the house because it's loose and it's not, and I don't really like it on my hand, but I want it there as a symbol of the type of person I am. No matter what other people, including one or two that may be watching this video because you're still stalking me, think. If you had told me 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, I would say 10 years ago, when I was, or less, we'll say 2017, 7 years ago, when I was in a very dark place and did not want to continue, that I would be getting my pistol permit. I would have told you were crazy, because I did not want to have that quick out. Now I have not felt like doing something like that in a number of years. I can't even remember the last time, other than 2017. I'm sure there were other times, but I don't remember them. And I feel more in danger I feel more in danger without having a pistol permit than with having one, and with having protection, because of people that won't leave me alone, that think that they should be following me around, that they think that they should be doing all this stuff that's not only illegal, but it shows severe obsession. And when you have been when you've been following somebody around to the stores and stuff like that, and to train shows for 4 years, and you have your boyfriend stop next to the person and accuse them of stalking girls, you're mentally ill. And you're obsessed, because you know darn well that that's not true. That's the type of people that I have to deal with now, that I have had to deal with for technically 6 years, almost 7, but has only been a concern for my safety in the last 4, and more so now. If you had told me that I would have to be wearing a body camera when I'm working to ensure that I have to collect evidence of a stalker, I probably would have believed you 4 years ago, but not 5. Maybe you have 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah, probably 5. More longer than that. But if you had told me that I would be sitting in a classroom taking the 18-hour concealed carry course that's required by New York State, and talking to a complete stranger, the instructors that are complete strangers that I've never met before, willingly, without being directly asked something, I would have told you were crazy, because it's just not it was just not me. And ...2024 has been a huge amount of change. The permit, the taking the course, operating on 5 different layouts for 3 hours. I think it's more than 5. No, I don't think it is. I think it is 5. 5 layouts for 3 hours each. No. It's 6 layouts. because I operated on one a couple days ago that was not planned. It was last minute. It was a last minute thing, and that I would be, and that I would feel supported and cared about in a hobby. If you told me that last year, even, I would have said, yeah, right. I don't believe that for a second. But I do now. And it's not from YouTube, it's from the NMRA. It's from being in the NMRA and the people in the NMRA, like Ed O'Connell, Paul Stamp, Rob Bartels, Jim Fairbanks, Mike Pyzak, and those people. Because I've never felt really included in the YouTube community among the other people. It's like a few years ago when I stopped watching other people, because there used to be a time that some of the channels in their live streams, they would say at the end, they would say to the subscriber count, what you have coming up. And every single time, the person doing this live stream would read out every single comment except for mine, and they deliberately skip over mine. And it could have been an accident the first one or two times, but after that, when it got to the other one, it was like, no, these people aren't commenting on my videos. They're not doing what they can to help the channel grow. They're telling other people to interact in other people's channels. So they're brand new channels, they're telling them, but ones that have been around for years, they aren't. And so I never felt like I was the outsider there. But I actually feel like I'm a part of something with the NMRA. 2024 has been the barn. The barn is going to take a lot of work, but I started working on that. Only tarping it, but that's a start. I won't be able to finish tarping it until 2025, unfortunately, because I just don't have the money right now. Actually, I do have the money, but I won't have the weather to do it. I could buy the wood to do it, but I don't have the weather to do it. I don't know what 2025 holds, but hopefully it's better than 2024. And 2024 is set a pretty high bar, because I'd say it's probably the best year I've had since 2014. That is a lot. That says a lot for the years between. But I gotta go downstairs, get something to drink, and get some sleep. I have to load this tomorrow. Recipe Silver Springs, milepost 368, Norfolk Southern Tier Line. Keep on living trains. Ciao.